Welcome to the forecast. To my right, AP18 himself. Alex, how you doing?
Hello, everybody.
And to my left, there he is himself, G-Dub himself. Garrett, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
My name is Marvin. This is the Wednesday Comics Forecast, telling you the comics coming out for March 20th, 2019, 3/20/2019. First up here, Image Comics, Criminal number 3. That is the Sean Phillips, Ed Brubaker comic, The Longest Weekend Part 2. Jacob's Weekend, taking care of his old mentor, takes a turn for the worst. As always, Criminal contains back page art and articles only found in single issues. Alex, what do you think Criminal number 3?
It's good. This is one of those books that I think if you like, what was the book that we just read? Had 20 pages. Holy crud. Has, Kill or Be Killed. There you go. Man, that was hard. If you love Kill or Be Killed, this is the book for you. This is all criminal related things. Even like this last issue 2, really wasn't like the most evil criminal thing I've seen. Like Lawless, he's a butt munch, horrible man, from issue 1. But this book is just so well written. The art is so good. And yes, I'll admit the coloring is a little, not necessarily off-putting, but it's a different turn of events. We're not having Elizabeth Breitweiser on it, which kind of takes away from it. No, I called her by her real name, not some made-up name that you guys gave her. Gosh. It's good. This is a fun book to read. If you're looking for just a nice, like, straightforward, this is what you're getting, this is for you.
Farmhand number 6. This is Rob Gilroy and Rob Gilroy. New story arc. Garrett, what do we think Farmhand number 6? You've been talking about this book. How's it going?
It's one of my favorite books coming out right now. It's like a fun, dark comedy / horror. Let's talk about it on the show. It reminds us a lot about like Goosebumps, but there's just this like dark. It's hard to explain, but there's basically with the entire environment that you can use as parts for your body. It makes me think of like Pet Sematary mixed with like, I don't know, advanced cybernetics. I don't know. It's so good. It's so funny. There's like crazy amounts of horror, and there's parts where there's like a lot of cool action because we're getting these morphed hybrids of plants and humans and animals and plants. It's crazy. You wouldn't think a book where people and pets could replace parts with plants would be kind of scary and funny at the same time, but it really works in this book.
It's Farmhand. Coming up next, Alex, here we are. Lazarus Risen number 1, Greg Rucka, Michael Lark, new story arc, Fracture, part 1. Lazarus returns in an all-new prestige format, new series, new story arc, new size, and a new quarterly schedule, introducing a new ongoing Lazarus series at 64 pages, perfectly bound. Lazarus Risen continues the story of Forever and the Carlisle family, featuring an oversized 44-page story from Eisner Award-winning winners Greg Rucka and Michael Lark, an all-new short story explaining the larger world of Lazarus by Leila Surgis, and an all-new supplementary to the modern-age world of Lazarus role-playing game by Green Ronin. So we got an oversized issue here. It sounds like this is continuing the story, but also considered basically a new ongoing. What do you think of Lazarus Risen number 1?
I'm excited for the book, but I'm also, I don't know, kind of off-put that when we were promised something back in September, and I realized I needed to just let it go, like Elsa tells us, but I can't. We've been waiting for this book for over 6 months to come out, and actually it's been longer than that since last issue's come out. It's been, at least 10 months? Maybe 11 months? It's almost been a year. And like you said, this is a whole brand new story now, even though it is continuing from what we've already read. You know how long it's been since I've read any Lazarus? Forever. Boom. Pun intended. I'm excited to get back into this book. Hopefully, Rucka and Lark haven't missed a beat. Hopefully we're getting right back into it. We're not getting I don't want to be reset up. I just want to go into it. And I think for an $8 book, I better be getting what I want.
Alex, you don't need to. New series, new story arc. Should jump you right in. I mean, it also, like, does that make your eye twitch that, what was the last issue? What number?
28.
That it's number
I wanna
28.
say
And,
28.
and you didn't know that was the last one, but that's the last one you got, baby. Number 28. Lazarus goes from 1 to 28. I don't know. I just find it a little strange. Why I don't see a reason why they would have to rename it, but maybe just for confusion, so they don't confuse people. I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to enjoy it. Greg Rucka, Michael Lark, can't go bad. Middle West, number 5, Scotty Young, Jorge Corona. Gary, you getting Middle West?
Yeah, absolutely, I am. It's a really great book. I mean, it's like folktale-y, mixed with like fantasy and adventure. I haven't read what's it called, Birthright, but I don't know, for some reason, like, I've seen the covers for those comics, and like it kind of gives me that same feel. Like, this is a mystical world. There's animals that can talk. This kid is on a journey that's not quite been defined yet, but he meets like this farmer wizard guy, and there's this magical tree that he went to find him. So you don't know if this guy's Merlin or something. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. It's a huge fantasy epic, mixed in with some. I mean, there's some heartfelt parts. You know, there's a lot of conflict between the main character and his father turns into this hurricane heart monster thing. I'm not doing it any justice, but it is a great book. It looks amazing. And, yeah, it's crazy that Scotty Young's writing this because, like, you know, when I think Scotty Young, I think comedy. And it's like, it does have comical moments, but this is probably one of the more serious books I've read by him.
I do agree, Garrett, not giving the book justice.
No.
You know, I actually thought about it today. I read issue 4. And this book, not to oversell it and not to undersell Saga, but this book really does have potential to be an amazing ongoing story where the fox and our main character, I want to call him Abel, but I don't remember if that's actually his name, where they're on this adventure trying to get away from dad and trying to figure out where he belongs and what he's supposed to be doing. And as we're at this carnival in the last issue, you know, we're learning how to steal. This book teaches you some bad things, which Saga has taught me plenty of bad things. Don't hang out with dragons. This book is great, and I think I'm saying this to you specifically, Marvin. I think when the first 5 issues comes out, or wherever you can read them, read this book because it is very much worth your time.
Judging from what Garrett said, it sounds like shit. So I don't know.
Wow.
Well, that's why I thought I'd better step in and guide you a little bit more, because Garrett's got the right ideas. I just want to reiterate, this is a very amazing book. Like you said, Scotty Young doesn't seem like this is a book for him, but I'm very impressed with the writing style. The art is fun. The colors look great. And these characters, it doesn't feel like I'm just being told a story. It actually feels like these characters are who they are.
Here we go. Dark Horse Comics, Invisible Kingdom, number 1, G. Willow Wilson, Christian Ward. Set in the far-flung star system, this new epic sci-fi monthly saga tells the tale of 2 women, a young religious acolyte and a hard-bitten freighter pilot who separately uncover a vast conspiracy between the leader of the system's dominant religion and the mega corporation that controls society. On the run from reprisals on both sides, this unlikely pair of rebels risk plunging the world into anarchy if the truth is revealed. But when your beliefs betray you, what choices are left? So, G. Willow Wilson and Christian Ward sounds like a good team. It's a beautiful cover. Actually, you might be checking this out. Looks very, very interesting. There we go. Dark Horse Comics. Up next, IDW Publishing. This is TMNT Ongoing, number 92. Tom Waltz, Kevin Eastman, Michael Denales. Alex, what do we think on the cover there? I see the Foot Clan. I see a Little Rat. What's going on?
Little Rat? Garrett, have you read 91?
I only read 90.
Okay. So I will try to...
It's fine.
Okay. 91 was amazing. So Karai shows up, has a conversation with Splinter, wants to pay respects to Oroku Saki, the Shredder. Leo and the Turtles are there, and they're just having this little meeting, a powwow amongst these 3 clans, the Foot Clan, Hamato Clan, and Karai and her mutant freaks, Bludgeon, Koya, and Echo. This book is amazing. And Echo is kind of a douche. She's a giant godlike mole, animal mole, digs in the dirt, and he's picking a fight with Raph by going, "Hey, I can smell your fear." And oh my gosh, this book is great. The art is what I expect for Turtles. If you're looking for a turtle run, start back at like 72, 73. This book is so strong. I cannot wait until we get to 100 to find out what's going on.
DC Comics, here we go. Aquaman, number 46, Kelly Sudaconic, Robson Roca, Daniel Enriquez. Who's getting Aquaman again? I always forget.
I am.
What do we think? Aquaman, number 46. Beautiful cover, by the way.
I read issue 45 tonight. I want to make sure that I've read most every book that was going to be on this list today. 45 is amazing. So Aquaman doesn't know who he is, what he is supposed to be doing. In the last issue, we get kind of a rundown that all myths are true stories in some way or another. We find out about Father Sea and his wife, the Salt Queen, and how they made the sea. And now these kids they made were the wind, fire, sky, and earth. Oh my gosh, this book, it looks beautiful. This feels like what Wonder Woman is. It's touching on mythological things in its own way, letting these heroes be themselves. I realize Aquaman doesn't know who he is yet, but we're going to get there. Oh I love this. This is one of my favorite DC books coming out. And I want to thank Sergeant America for getting me back on track, even though I don't know if he still reads this book or not.
I don't think he does. But Batman number 67, Tom King, Lee Weeks. Lee Weeks! Oh, geez. Here we go. The nightmare continues as Batman chases a new foe in an impossible race over rooftops, across alleyways, up and down the streets of Gotham City. This lightning-fast crook outsmarts Dark Knight at every turn. Is that because the man under the mask is someone more familiar than he knows? Artist Lee Weeks returns to Batman for an all-out action issue, unlike any you've seen before. Garrett, what do you think? Lee Weeks, Tom King, back at it again.
I think Lee Weeks' art will be really good, and I can't say that I haven't been kind of let down by this Nightmares arc. It seems to be going on forever. I am excited to read 67 because it seems like things hopefully are escalating at this point, that maybe we're getting close to the end of this Nightmares arc. And I think you said, Marvin, this one might not have Batman in it or something. There was some issue coming up of
66 was awesome.
66 was awesome.
66 really didn't have Batman in it. That's the one I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
He shows up a couple times, but 66 looked great. I actually am excited for this next issue. Juan Lee Weeks is spectacular. This is one of my favorite looking Batman covers that I've seen in a long time. I don't know what to anticipate. I don't know how much longer Nightmares is going to be, but if it keeps progressing the way it is, it may actually turn out to be a very important story. We'll have to find out when we get there.
So, Garrett,
Let's hope so.
You didn't read 66 yet?
I haven't read 66 yet.
66 is very great. So coming off of 66, I'm excited for 67 to see where this thing goes. It kind of got me okay with the way this Nightmare thing's going. So I'm excited to see especially this issue with Lee Weeks. Like Alex was just saying, the man's great. I'm excited to see when these two work together. We usually get gold, so I'm excited to see what they'll do. If anything, this will be a good, nice little one-shot issue with the two of them. So. Nightwing number 58, Scott Lobdell, Zach Kaplan, Chris Mooneyham. Garrett, you get Nightwing?
Yep.
What do we think about Joker's daughter's back?
Her I don't care about that much. I'm really kind of disappointed because, this whole Rick Grayson thing ever since Batman issue 50, I get why they're doing it, but this one doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon, at least getting him back to Dick Grayson. I was hoping that by the time Detective Comics 1000 came out, they'd be wrapping up the storyline, and we could have Dick Grayson back as Nightwing. It doesn't seem like that's happening quite yet. I think the story's interesting because it is cool seeing the city police force take over as different Nightwings because they have all of his different costume sets. But the reason I get this book is to read about Dick Grayson, and it's kind of like when they changed Superman in Action Comics in the New 52, and when they changed, Batman to be James Gordon in Detective Comics. It's just you're getting used to it, but it's not quite what it could be. You're like, I want more from this, and that's what I'm feeling with this book right now, but it's still really good.
There you go. Wildstorm number 21, Warren Ellis, John Davis Hunt. The experimental subject code named Apollo and Midnighter have broken cover. Combat optimized superheroes are now loose on the Earth. Alex, what do you think? Wildstorm 21. We're ramping down 24 issues, right? So we got 3 left?
Correct.
Oh, this one and then 3.
So issue 20 was a beautiful book. Most of it was art. Most of it was pretty silent. There may have been a few words here and there. And I know in these last 4 issues, there's going to be a lot of ass kicking. There's going to be, I can't imagine a lot more story having to be explained. We're going to get to that climax of IO and Skywatch coming together to either duke it out, to blow the universe up, whatever they're going to do. I am hopeful that this is a good issue. I don't even know what to expect anymore from this book because we've had it so many times where you've gone 3 issues of just chatting up a storm, then all of a sudden, boom, everybody's getting the crap kicked out of them or dying one way or another. It's interesting, but I'm at that point where I am ready to be done because I think I'm just ready to see what this book has in store, either down the line or just how is it going to end? Is it going to be a nice tight bow? Are we going to leave things open for later down another series, or is it going to tie into the ongoing DC universe? There's a lot of questions I got. I need answers soon.
A lot of questions to Wildstorm 21, ramping down. Very excited to see what goes on there. Captain Marvel, number 3. This is Marvel Comics. Kelly Thompson, Carmine Nunes, Carano, Amanda Conner, red on the cover. Is anybody getting Captain Marvel?
Yes.
I am, but I'm not caught up.
Alex, what do you think? Captain Marvel herself.
It's good. I think a part of it is I don't know what Captain Marvel really is like as a character, as in a book. I haven't read enough things about her. The only thing I've really read is Civil War II, and I wasn't impressed with her. But she does kind of seem, I don't want to say high strung. She's ready for a fight. She's actually stuck in Roosevelt Island right now, where she's with a lot of girls. Girls keep getting pulled into this little, I don't want to call it a teleporter, but they're in a different time zone. And all these girls have lost their powers. If they do have powers, they've lost them by, I think his name was Nuclear Man. He's a big Russian pig kind of guy. He's not a pig, but he's, was it chauvinist pig? What's the right word?
That's it.
Okay. He seems like a pig. And so anyway, that's what these girls are going to go fighting for. That's what's going on right now. There's not a whole lot that's really progressed yet, but I think I want to be on this book for the fact that Kelly Thompson is on it, as well as coming off that high from watching the movie with Brie Larson. I think I want a Captain Marvel in my life.
There you go, Captain Marvel. As Alex said, there's a guy in there that not so happy, or not so good. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, that's number 4. Tom Taylor, Juan Cabal, Andrew Robinson. Garrett, what do you think? The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man by your fave, Tom Taylor.
I really love this book. I think this team works great together. You know, I saw them first together on All New Wolverine with X-23 with Laura Kinney, and I think they're still going super strong here, making Peter Parker literally your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Instead of doing these big citywide, saves and things like that, this is about him just operating in his tiny neighborhood in Queens. Being nice to, he lives in an apartment building. There's more street crime going on as opposed to, again, big crime. And it just shows how good a person that Peter Parker is and Spider-Man is. I hope they are on this book for a long time because it's just refreshing. It's nice to see the down on his luck Peter Parker still trying everything he can to live his life and protect those all around him.
Guardians of the Galaxy number 3, Donny Cates, Jeff Shaw, David Marquez right on that cover. Alex, what do you think? Guardians number 3?
I think Donny Cates understands his characters very well. I think the fact that I haven't actually read a Guardians book that's been good, and the book I did get, I think I only read 3 issues, and I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. Even though this isn't the regular team that we see, this does feel like a very good team book. There's some characters that I'm not sure what to expect from them, but this is a fun story. The idea that Thanos, even though he is dead, now has the ability to find somebody else and make them him. Whether or not, I don't imagine that would change their body, but somebody will become Thanos eventually, and we have ideas of who that could be. And so do some of the characters. This is a fun, giant outdoor spacey book. We got a drunk Peter Quill. Respect, of course. I know what that's like. It's fun. I don't know what else to really tell you. Everyone loves Guardians of the Galaxy ever since the movies have come out. It's nice to see that these characters actually kind of went back to what they used to be, and that they aren't just Chris Pratt or Zoe or Batista. So this is a good book. Go ahead and get it if you're interested. If you're not, I'm not your keeper. Read something else.
Also announces announced this week Donny Cates doing a Silver Surfer Black book, so that'll be coming out soon here too. So he's getting full into the cosmic. So if you want to start anywhere, these 3 issues are a good place to start. Immortal Hulk. This is Al Ewing, Joe Bennett, Alex Ross right on the cover. Dr. Leonard Sampson is a gamma mutate and part-time superhero who recently came back from the dead. He's been wanting to discuss that with the old patient of his, but he's not here to see Bruce Banner. Take a seat on the couch in Immortal Hulk. It's going to be quite a session. What do you think here, Garrett? Hulk lying right on the table with a nice rock pillow. That's how we work. How is Immortal Hulk?
Immortal Hulk's really great. We just got to a point where all the events from Captain America, where Thunderbolt Ross got murdered, basically, and we're dealing with Betty having to deal with that, Bruce dealing with that, Ross's proteges dealing with that, and then what no one can account for is how volatile the Hulk becomes when Betty gets shot in the head last issue. So basically, obviously, there's tensions high, but Hulk was ready to berserker rage, kill everyone in sight, but then Doc Samson was there and was like, "Yo, bud, calm the fuck down, like it's cool." And that was the cliffhanger of the episode. And for those of you that don't know, Doc Samson is kind of like I would say the Leslie Tompkins to Batman for Bruce Banner and Hulk. His therapist that kind of helps him dissociate between who's the Hulk and who's Bruce Banner. So I think this will be a really fun issue for legacy fans, and it'll be fun for new fans to really get into the dichotomy of who Bruce Banner is versus who, what's the Hulk's motivations. I'm super excited. I've loved this series since it started. Al Ewing is killing it. I don't know. Is Joe Bennett on art? I'm not on the solicit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. Here we go.
Whoa,
For
language.
Sure.
Jesus, fuck.
Language.
Immortal Hulk. I'm looking forward to seeing where we go with this. The last issue I really did enjoy. Miles Morales. Didn't we get Miles Morales still?
Yeah.
Spider-Man number 4. Salman Ahmed. Javi Caron.
Yeah.
First off, one thing I gotta say about this cover here. I don't know. Garrett's not there, but Alex, you on that cover?
What? I'm looking at the cover, yeah.
Miles Morales, Spider-Man. His right leg, but when you look at him, his left leg, right? His right leg, is that a little bit longer than his other leg? Shouldn't he be?
Well, that or his left leg is broken and shoved up his insides.
It looks a little weird. Garrett, how's his Miles Morales doing?
I've loved the first 3 issues. I think they're trying to obviously mimic the Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse movie as much as they can, especially with those covers. That just looks incredible. I love the art style by Javier Garron. Saladin Ahmed's doing Miss Marvel that Marvin brought up on this last week's show. I was first introduced to him. He did a Symbiote Spider-Man annual about 6 months ago. That was amazing. So I'm excited that what this run is doing. I think it's really giving Miles his own voice. And developing him as a character, whereas, the last one we had to do that was Bendis, and he's obviously gone. But it's nice that there's a new home with somebody that really knows this character, and it's really fun seeing how Saladin's putting his own spin on Miles Morales. So definitely on, and I love this. I mean, the art just looks awesome.
Here we go, Spider-Man Life Story number 1, the 60s. This is Chip. Zdarsky, Mark Bagley on art there. Chip on that cover. Right. There we go. Nice, delicious. 1962, The Amazing Spider-Man 15. Amazing Fantasy number 15. 15-year-old Peter Parker was bitten by a radioactive spider and became the Amazing Spider-Man. 57 years have passed in the real world since that event. So what would have happened if the same amount of time passed for Peter as well? A special high-end limited series that's part of a celebration of Marvel's 80th anniversary Spider-Man life story combines the talents of Chip Zdarsky and Mark Bagley to tell the entire history of Spider-Man from the beginning to end, set against key events of the decade through which he lived. In the first oversized issue, when Flash Thompson is drafted to serve during the Vietnam War, Spidey must weigh the questions of where his responsibilities truly lie. Alex, what do you think? Spider-Man life story.
I am so excited for this book. I've always been a fan of Spider-Man, but in the last probably year, I've really found my place with him, especially with Nick Spencer writing Amazing Spider-Man. I just can't seem to get enough. And with the new PS4 game coming out, I am so amped to see the 70 years of Spider-Man. And who knows if Spider-Man grows old, if he dies at the end of this 6-issue run, I don't really care. I just want to be a part of this book that to me seems groundbreaking and actually very, very interesting to see what would the Spider-Man do if he were to go through all these other things and not always be stuck in some weird time loop of in between 15 and 28 years old.
I'm looking forward to this. I didn't realize Mark Bagley, I think we talked about it, maybe I just don't know, but Mark Bagley doing the art. For him, for me, it's hit or miss. It depends. So we'll see what kind of Bagley we get on this book. But I have enjoyed his Ultimate Spider-Man. I do think he was good on that. But every once in a while, he comes on a book and I don't like the way it's done. But we'll see. I'm very interested.
Come on, you get that Ultimate Spider-Man nostalgia? Like, I think he can do it good.
Nostalgia?
Like
Book came out 10 years ago.
Yeah, nostalgia, man. That's not coming out right now.
Nostalgia.
There's no limit on nostalgia.
I was in my 20s with that book. Like, I'm not like a guy.
Yeah, you're in your 40s now, so we're all a little bit older.
Venom. Go ahead.
Who's on the cover? Does it say who's on the cover? Because if that's Bagley art,
no, that's
then
Chip.
This book is going to be
Chip's art.
That's Chip
art.
Who does that?
Yeah.
You know, man,
Chip?
I wish Chip was doing this book.
Yeah, I wish too. Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman, Venom number 12. Stegman's back, baby. Once the world's nightmare of New York City's criminal element, Eddie Brock, has been living a nightmare of his own, cut off from the symbiote's personality and now dealing with the resurgence of the cancer that once ravaged his body. When no one else to turn to, Eddie must revisit the Maker, the only person he's been able to provide any insight into what's been going on with the alien symbiote of late. What do you think, Garrett? Venom number 12.
I love Venom. Like, I think it's so much fun, and I think Donny Cates is doing a really great job. Ryan Stegman's art, like that cover, is just terrifying. From a distance, the Maker looked like a xenomorph, like from Alien, and that is just a great cover. And I think these two being in this book just really turns on the crazy factor. We thought, Flash Thompson's been going through, or no, this is Eddie Brock. But Flash Thompson's dead. Sorry, guys, for what Eddie Brock's been going through, kind of losing Venom's voice as of late. I mean, it's just a terrifying book, but the concept and the action are incredible, and writing and the art is on point.
West Coast Avengers number 9. Kelly Thompson, Gang Hunk Lim, Creepy Hollywood Cults. On that cover here, I'm looking at this cover real quick. I know, Garrett, you don't have access to it.
I'm looking at it right now.
Hawkeye looks a little Chris Evans to me.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I thought it was Captain America at first, and I was like, hey, they're drawing him like the movie. But it's Hawkeye. There we go. What do we think, Alex? West Coast? Avengers.
West Coast has become actually... I had fallen behind so far that I ended up binge reading, and actually the book is very well done, but I don't remember if I actually picked up issue 8, so I don't know if it's still good or not. So I did. Never mind. I see it. I just haven't read it. The book is good. It's just I'm not sure if it's... I don't know how much longer I think this book really has going for it.
What do you mean? They just started out.
Yeah, but I don't... It still has good stuff going for it, but it seems even... I don't know. I don't know how much I like it, and I don't want to oversell it because it has good moments, but also has some of those like overly ridiculous moments that I can't just be like, yeah, I don't know if I like that.
Well, that's just because there's a lot of extreme personalities in this book.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just that the team, like naturally, the team doesn't make sense to me,
Right?
and maybe that's what's rubbing me the wrong way.
Speaking of not making sense to you, that team, Dynamite, James Bond 007, number, where is it at? 5. Greg Pak, Stephen Mooney, David Johnson ran that cover. Odd Job continues. So Odd Job and Jim Lee. Odd Job and James Bond teaming up here. Garrett, what do you think? James Bond 007, number 5.
I think the book's great. It's probably the best James Bond comic I've ever read. Yes, the Odd Job and like James teaming up. I mean, at least they explain why they have to team up together in this issue. Like before, it was like they were constantly in the way of each other, and this one, like both of their agencies basically were like, "Hey, we have to work together on this." But they each have different goals, so it's kind of like, "Hey, right now we need to work together, but at any moment, the curtain will drop, and yeah, we're probably still gonna duke it out at the end here because only one of us can get what we want, like one agency." It's just a lot of fun. I think the crime itself, like the crime they're going after and the object they're trying to find, it's just a really interesting, compelling story, and yeah, I really love it. I can't wait to see what happens after this arc. Like, I hope it doesn't just end because I'd rather this be like a monthly ongoing than just this one shot. This one book about him and Odd Job, and then it's done.
Nothing against Mark Lanning, who did the art for the first part of this book, but this issue is by Stephen Mooney, who did the art for Dead Hand. And I'm looking through the preview here, and it looks fantastic. It almost looks like a Brubaker, Sean Phillips kind of thing. The coloring almost looks like a Betty. So I am curious to see who is the colorist here. Charona Farrell. I am curious to see how this plays out now with this kind of style. I do love this style. If we look at the preview third page there, James Bond beat up. We'll see how it goes. But I am curious. It has been good. And look, Q looks like John Cleese. Oh, there we go. Alex, what do you think? What looks to be like your pick this week? A lot of good choices. Can't go wrong. But what do you think?
You have forgotten one. Black Badge number 8 comes out this week as well.
Where? I didn't see that on the list. It's not on the list.
It's there. Same place as Risen, next to another book.
Where? I don't see it on the list.
Go down to Boom. Go past Dynamite, go to Boom Studios. It's the third row in.
You must
Black
be
Badge number 8.
You must be smoking on something because all I see is Black Badge number 8. Matt Kent, Tyler Jenkins. The Badge of Champions competition rule reaches its bloody conclusion in the Black Badges uncover secret generations in the making. There we go, Black Badge. Alex, what do you think, Black Badge? How's it going so far?
Good. The book is, I know that was one of those books I was on the fence about, and you know what the weird thing is? I thought about this like 3 weeks ago. When we were doing Department H, I was like, I'm going to drop it at issue 5. I don't care about this book. You guys tell me it's really good. I got back into it, and it was amazing. This is the same book. I got into issue 5. I was like, yeah, I don't know how much I care about this. Then I got into issue 6, and boom, I was like, nope, I'm sold. I got to keep reading this book. This book is spectacular. Last issue, we find out Willie is a badass. Way to earn all those badges because they all came in handy. How to kill somebody? Boom. You got the How to Kill Somebody badge. Solid. I wanted a little bit more of the Jamboree, but I'll take what we got, and I'm excited to know where this book is going to go because I'm not 100% sure what kind of waters are we getting into. We're getting into some piranhas, some shark. Is there going to be some saltwater alligators, saltwater crocodiles? You never know. This book could be crazy. I think it's worth your time if you're looking for a fun romp in the Boy Scouts.
So, Alex, what do you think? What looks to be your pick this week?
I think I really have to go with the Spider-Man life story. That is one of those books that just the premise interests me. The art has the potential of being very great, and Chip Zdarsky has proven more than once that he knows how to write a good book, as long as he's doing it on his terms.
Garrett, what do we think?
I'm going to keep it in the Spider-Man world as well, and I'll do Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 4. I've loved the first 3 issues, and I think this will be a great week to read Life Story, read this, and read Miles Morales.
I'm going to pick here. It's very, very hard, but I'm going to go Lazarus Risen, number 1, Michael Lark, Greg Rucka. I've been waiting for it for a while, and I'm interested to see the story that we tell in the new format. Runner-up Criminal, obviously. There we go. But a lot of the books come out this week. I am looking forward to quite a few of them. But Alex, something I'm looking forward to as much, maybe a little bit less, but as much. The weather outside. Guess what? Beautiful morning this morning. Woke up. Some birds were singing. I sang along with them. We walked along the road. Decided not to take the car to work. Walked 10 miles to work. Got there. Everything was good. Had a nice bagel, cream cheese. Looked outside, sat outside with a cup of coffee for about half an hour, staring into the distance, seeing the sun. How long is this thing going to last?
It has potential. It has potential to no. It comes on officially. I believe it is Thursday. So the first day of spring.
I don't mean
is the
officially.
22nd.
I mean weather-wise.
Well, weather-wise, it could have been spring back in December when it was 40 degrees. I'm telling you right now, meteorologically, where the Earth is sitting, it's going to be spring here, coming Thursday. It's beautiful out, but sometimes where we live in South Dakota, spoilers, you can't get too excited about a 40-degree, 50-degree, 60-degree day, because guess what? Like Thanos, it just takes a snap, and it snows. So I'm just letting you know, I haven't seen it in the forecast. When I look at the sky, I see the sun, and the sun and I are making eye contact. Of course, I'm wearing my protective shades so my eyes don't burn out of my face.
See, and that's why
we're making eye contact.
That's why you guys don't have a good relationship. Well, I was staring into the sun this morning for half an hour straight. It was full contact, no protection. Just my eyes and the sun's beautiful, beautiful view. So I can't see now, but it's worth it. Garrett, what do we think? How the road's looking? By the way, a lot of potholes, and they got covered up, especially the ones that I drive by every day. That you got nice and covered up. It's a lot safer now. For a while, I was dodging some bullets out there. Sometimes I would go up on the road, and it seemed like most of the road was taken out. But most of it's taken care of. I called up Domino's, took care of it. Nice and quick, 30 minutes or less.
Are you sure? I think that that is not true at all, because there's so many people like busting tires. I already heard about like 3 people today that tires popped in a pothole. So the pothole game is on point. I mean,
where you go, I live in a good place. You don't. That's probably why. I don't think so. I got like 5 Domino's near me. They took care of it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, potholes everywhere. I mean, you might as well, I don't even fucking know, take a train to your comic shop. Like, you need to do something that's not driving on the street, because it's going to be like you're doing the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs, because you got to like weave in and out just to make sure you don't die, basically. Get your comics, but just make sure there's some gaps between you and cars, because you're going to be swerving.
What?
What?
You're going to be swerving between the potholes.
Yeah, so
there's
get
potholes
gas?
everywhere.
How's gas going to help?
I didn't say anything about gas.
Yeah, I heard you say make sure you got gas in your car.
Make sure you got gas.
Swerving.
He said making sure you got gas.
I did not say that.
Oh, well, we got it on tape, so.
Well, so we'll have to call back to the video.
I'm pretty sure, me Alex didn't hear separately the same thing exactly. So,
well, when you're your age, you get selective hearing.
Yeah, when you're your age, you don't know how to talk, so that's probably what happened. A lot of, like I said, very nice outside the last week of comics here. This week, just a little heads up here, we will not be having a normal show. We actually will be having placeholder shows. Garrett, because of that joke, mainly, is taking off to Canada. He can't stand us anymore, leaving the USA. He's not American.
Grumpy old man is the reason.
He's taking off. He's heading north. Probably, you look for Wolverine when you're up there? Is that why? You're going on a Wolverine? You don't like that in the new one? The new Wolverine in the comics doesn't seem like the BM, so you're going to go look for him? Yeah,
I'm giving Canada the Wolverine it deserves.
And he's going to get up there, look for Wolverine. Hopefully get lost. We'll see. But we'll catch him next week on the show. But there's a lot of good books this week. Catch me up on Twitter. Let me know. When I read these two, I'll tweet out. And we'll see how it goes. Alex too, probably, right? We'll have a Twitter storm. I mean, me and him are on there anyways. Unlike the guy this guy's going to Canada because he's what you call a lone wolf anyways. So he's out there. He's probably going to climb a mountain, probably live in a cave, probably eat some lizard that he cooks over a fire. You don't know what he's doing. I know what
I'm
he's doing.
confused on where did you find a lizard at?
In Canada?
Yeah.
What do you mean, where do you find a lizard at?
impressed.
Don't they, you can find them at the store, pet store.
Sure.
Yeah, he went to the pet store,
Okay.
picked one up, and they cooked it. I'm not saying he's a survivalist. I'm saying the guy has cash. So, have a good week. We'll see you next week when Garrett returns from the Great White North, and me and Alex stay right here in the nice, warm weather. My name is Marvin.
I'm Alex.
I'm Garrett.
Hey, everyone. Keep reading those books.